saw how effective Torsos is with the mechanics and what he brings in terms of demos, in the air with the air dribbles, following it up. I mean, there's so much that you're missing out. But Jules is not a poor player by any means. This is still a solid pickup for the roster. And Torsos apparently was kicked, so maybe he fits in a little bit better with the team. We'll see how it goes for him. But I love the way that Zen handled the interview. Previously, I look a lot at the personality of the team, but you also have to pay attention to the mechanics. And look at Drippe with that pass off the ceiling.
And that pass, you saw Fiber, didn't have much boost, only had one pad. And that speed from Drippe, we see this a lot as well in the other regions, using that ceiling pass. That ceiling pass can be so effective when you have a defender sitting in net. You go straight up off the ceiling and down, you beat the defender right next to you, and you leave that goaltender in a really difficult position. And that time, Jules slotting that shot perfectly.
Oh, nice little shot there from Fiber, almost putting that one in. Misty, this man clutched it out a couple of times earlier on against Mindfreak. Got a buzzer beater. Unfortunately, they didn't win the game that he got the buzzer beater in. But, I mean, you're proving to the audience and also the casters and everybody watching that you've got a lot of capability with that OT goal. You know, trying to force something with barely any time left. So, lots of potential so far on Direwolves. Definitely expect a comeback in the first game, and hopefully we get a closer series, James. You know, I think the previous one, the sweep was still incredibly entertaining, but I'd love to see something go the distance.
And we'll see how well these teams match up. So far, Cringe Society doing a good job of keeping pressure. Fiber. Let reset chance, but we'll push it to the backboard, and it ends up getting cleared all the way to Jules. Jules.
Tap. Oh
my goodness, Jules. The double tap. Deca will backboard pass, and it's saved aside, but Jules was on target. That was destined for the net.
Oh my goodness. Misty was the man who came up clutch on the goal line, and he's making up. In game 5 against Mindfreak, he was the man who couldn't get the save. Which allowed Mindfreak to force an OT, but here, he has redeemed himself with that save.
Jules. Push this over. Zen gonna slow things down. We'll push it past a bit. Drippe had it right for net. Jules rebound, and another save coming out from the Direwolves. Again, though, you see Jules with a shooting opportunity, forcing the save out of the Direwolves. Deca and Jules, they both commit. Fiber will control it. Oh, it's a block as well. Floating up in the air. Zen has a rebound out to Misty. It's a light hit. Deca lost control of it. Back to Fiber. Now down to Drippe. Drippe will head towards net with that. Misty is going to save it. Another shot. It's barely getting saved multiple times. Direwolves, they're setting up on the goal line, and they're making it work.
Yeah, and it is clean defensive rotations from Cringe Society. I mean, what we just saw from them, that transition out, the placement of clears to go under an opponent, make sure he doesn't get a challenge or even a touch on the ball, so you've got a much easier and smooth transition out of the defensive side. Pay attention to Cringe Society and what they're doing. Like, look at Deca taking his time, realizing there's space in the air, and he just carries this one out. It is so well thought out and planned from everybody on Cringe Society.
Fiber. Being a nuisance. We see Fiber leading the attack, kind of being that spearhead, doing some creative plays as well, getting light touches, bringing it down to the ground, staying on the backboard, trying to get that ball to a teammate. Fiber showing us what he has in his toolkit. Approaching that final minute. Direwolves, they've made some big saves. Already 8 saves from them. And they've had some chances as well. Drippe will miss that. Zen up against Deca. A lob over to Misty. Jules will break it up, but now a chance for Fiber. He's going to wait for Drippe's hit. Drippe misses, and Jules will save the day with a clear downfield. But Zen has it up to Fiber. Fiber down to Misty. Misty will be challenged by Jules. Now off the ceiling, Zen didn't get the touch he was looking for, and Jules will be able to clear it all the way to the Direwolves corner.
Oh, and it was a good look there from everyone on Direwolves in the corners. I like the tactics, throwing it in, like I said, into the corners, then hoping it bounces up, get a unlucky read out of Cringe Society where they can't find a touch. Drippe had missed a couple of times, but still Direwolves unable to capitalize and punish on those poor mistakes from the defense of Cringe Society. Now the final 10 seconds, we've seen it before with Misty. Will we see it again here in game 1?
Wonderful turn from Zen. Feeds it into the middle. Misty will keep it airborne. Get bumped a bit. Drippe will hit it to the ground. Cringe Society win in a game where we only had a single goal, but the action, it felt like an action-packed game.
And Cringe Society, that defense looked a little bit shaky towards the end, don't get me wrong, but I think in the beginning, that's really where they took the win here. In game 1 was those solid clears out. Drippe, while he missed 2 times in a row actually towards the end, the beginning half was fantastic from him. He was reading a lot of overhead hits that were very difficult and ones where you could easily get outpaced to the ball, especially with the mechanics on the other side with Misty, Fiber, and Zen, who were getting good saves, James. Like you said, lots of great stops.
Look at that. Misty saving Zen or Jules' shot.
Yeah.
And then multiple goal line saves. Fiber getting that deny as well on Jules. Jules had so many looks, but kept getting denied on the goal line. And it's tough to believe that we only saw a single goal. It happened in the first 20 seconds. There were so many looks, big plays on defense from the Direwolves. And also they were generating some pretty good chances. And you had Fiber up there being creative, helping get his team some chances, but they just couldn't connect. Some defense coming out from Cringe Society as well. There were tons of saves in that one.
I still think it's going to come down to transitions for both teams. You know, Cringe Society a little bit cleaner when they are coming out of the defensive end. It seems like the setup's a lot more promising whenever they're moving towards the offensive side. Meanwhile, Direwolves still kind of putting the pieces together, trying to figure out what to do as Drippe air dribbles it, almost gets one to the back of the net. Deca crashing, couldn't find one, and Jules now trying to put something together in the corner.
We do have a player calling for a pause. You can see Fiber not moving. And there the pause comes in. So we'll work through whatever the issue is. Player calling for a pause. So I'm sure we'll have the admins connect with them and work it out. And Turtle, we're going into this game too. What do you make of how these teams match up against one another? That first game, it's tough to tell. I mean, you saw in terms of offensive firepower, it looked like maybe Cringe Society had the edge, especially with Jules taking some or making some big shot plays, but the defense from the Direwolves was able to withhold most of it.
Yeah, I think it's more about how planned out the Direwolves defense is whenever they make those huge saves. So for instance, we saw Misty slide across the goal, try to get a last second touch. He managed to stop that incredible shot from Jules where he hit it to himself off the backboard, going for the double tap. And we got the save from Misty. Now, once you get a crazy play like that, you've got to take the initiative and explode out of your half. That's something that a lot of players in the RLCS tend to struggle with when they come up, when they're trying to make a name for themselves, is reacting after a crazy play happens. You've got to just split second, make a decision, move down the field. Misty then gets a clear out. The transition, James, it has to be there after that initial save. If we get that from Direwolves, I can 100% see this going to game 7, possibly taking the win against Cringe Society if that defense still holds up and they've got a plan to execute after a save.
It does, at least going by what game 1 had to offer. It seems like this is one of those series that certainly could go the distance. And I'm hoping that we get the same level of action that we had in that first game. It was so many intense moments, just barely being able to make saves, some incredible shots as well. And now we've got the second game coming up. We are going to be unpausing. We're going to restart from the beginning, Turtle.
We're going to take a nice little refresh, a little breather, and get back into here because I think game 1 was a shock to both teams, James. You know, you come out, you make saves like that from Direwolves. Cringe Society still looking like the dominant team, but I'm excited. With the positivity that we have seen out of Zen, it's incredible. I expect them to bounce back and still be happy in those comms, and make sure you're all watching that face cam, seeing them smile.
Well, I spoke too soon, Turtle. It seems like there's still a few issues with the players that we're trying to sort out. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have game 2 of Cringe Society versus the Direwolves. Welcome back from the break. Thank you for your patience. We had a player issue that we were working through that we have now resolved. We've got game 2, Dire Wolves against Cringe Society. Game 1 was neck and neck all the way to the finish. It only saw 1 goal in the first 20 seconds, and then it was a battle all the way to the end. Now we've got game 2, Turtle.
Still felt like a shootout, though, James. I mean, 1 goal, but how many incredible chances do we see for both teams? It was neck and neck, like we talked about. And I'm excited to see how Dire Wolves decide to come out in game number 2, because there were a lot of great looks, a lot of great things to take away from them. And I think moving forward, they can have a lot of confidence knowing that they were able to force, Drippe in game 1 into a couple of mistakes. They just got to be ready to punish and crash the net when it's appropriate.
Jules, so only player to score last game, and he had multiple looks. A demo from Fiber. Misty, flip reset. Oh, but that was shut down by Drippe. Drippe wasted no time. Misty was going to be able to get a good hit on that ball. Drippe cutting the play off early, though.
Even looked like there could have been a potential double flip reset with the way that his car was kind of going towards the ball was Fiber there. But now we'll see as he moves down the field. Still more mechanics, getting a bit flashy on the field. I love to see it. Still looking clean. But that Cringe Society defense, man, the way these guys carry the ball out, it just really communicates a lot of confidence on the pitch that they're not too scared to be forced into their own half.
Drippe missing that. Jules getting challenged by Zen. Bounce out to Misty. Misty, far post, but Deca was there. Jules up to Deca. Oh, no. If you look at Zen gets tripped up by the post here at the worst possible time.
We don't need to talk about it.
Oh,
He
man.
drove up the post. It's unfortunate. I was on his perspective, and that is the difficult thing about having ball cam locked in, James, on that play. You're a little bit less aware of your positioning on the field and how close you are to the goal. It can be a bit hard to see if you're coming up on the post, but that's a free one given to Cringe Society. And after the first game was very low scoring, that one's got to hurt.
Honestly, hitting the post like that is the Rocket League equivalent of stubbing your toe. It's not fun.
Yeah. What was that like tool that farmers used to use, and then you'd like step on it? Was it just a rake? I think it was literally just a rake.
What?
Well, I thought it was like some fancy tool.
The rake, the most widely used tool in a farmer's toolkit. And Drippe, he's raking it in right now for Cringe Society. 2 goals now, quick start. You see the double commit. And ball going right to Drippe.
It's Zen again. This is nothing but pain for Zen. He got the first mistake where he drove up the post, then now just clearing it out, giving away possession and a free shot to Cringe Society, who doesn't even seem like they're working really for these shots. They're just in solid positions to make a punishing play on Zen.
And Zen almost hit that in as well. Zen having a tough go at it this game. Misty, air dribble. It's going to be high, and Jules will hit it off to the side and chase it down. Ceiling pass down to Drippe. I don't think Drippe was expecting that second touch from Jules.
Drippe is a player you got to watch out for. I mean, Yummy was talking about it on the desk. Amphis Tour saw some of the most mechanical players in this region. Drippe, we've certainly seen his name float around with that title behind his name as I say that he misses the backboard read, but still definitely dangerous on the field when he comes to a solid shooting opportunity. You definitely think he's going to make one count.
Now approaching that 8-minute mark. Dire Wolves still have not managed to put one in. Deca stretching for that save. Deca crossing the field. Zen left that ball, and you see him have to pay for it. Zen, you think he must have thought Fiber was going to get to this ball.
Oh, yeah.
Completely leaves.
God, it's a very frustrating situation for Zen. We're on his perspective, and you can see that it was a logical decision. It made sense to try to leave that ball, let Fiber get a bigger hit, but the communication wasn't there. Somebody needs to be talking in that situation. It's also got to be Fiber telling Zen he's going for the boost. If that comes across, then Zen, again, need to make a better decision.
With the way Fiber was flipping off on the side, It kind of looked like he didn't have boost there. So you're right, the communication has to get better. Sorry about that.
Oh, Misty, what do you got? Nothing in the tank. Off the sidewall, things just kind of quiet for Direwolves. And we were hyping them up after game 1, saying it was really close. A couple of good showings on defense, but then Zen, it's just been a tough game for him mentally. You can tell he's a bit off his game, but you know he'll come back, especially with the good atmosphere that I talked about earlier, that he seems to just enjoy playing this game, you know, on the competitive level. Doesn't take things super seriously and can easily bounce back when he's in that mental rut.
Gonna have to bounce back. Zen taking it downfield. Picks up one pad, cuts through. Running on fumes as this ball's high up in front of net. Zen with the team bump.
You don't want to talk about it, James. Zen has had such a frustrating game so far, and it can't even really be broken down into his rotations. It's just getting a bit unfortunate with the timing of where Misty was, bumping his own teammate, now being the last man in net. A pinch out into the midfield. You're giving Drippe a free shot? This is just tough for the defense of Direwolves.
And you see Deca.
Wow.
He went low. Fiber has one boost. One boost. He used it. It wasn't enough there. This has been one of those games for the Direwolves, especially for Zen Turtle.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still looking for their first goal of the series. On the other hand, you got Cringe Society. It's a low-scoring game last game, but they really put the pedal to the metal this time and punished Zen and the Direwolves for the mistakes they made.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's really easy to have a lot of accusations towards the side of Direwolves, but you also have to applaud and credit the Cringe Society striking. When you're presented opportunities, you still have to find the back of the net and hit your mark on a couple of those shots. Even in the last second there, you could see Fiber was in net, but couldn't get the save because the shot was just that good. Cringe Society, the punishment game on point, composure is there, things looking confident for all three boys.
Even that last shot by Deca, he saw that Fiber had jumped, he pre-jumped, so he goes low and forced Zen to come in and essentially double commit, and then Fiber had no boost left to even make the play.
Yeah, and on that double commit, there was a pinch across, and that's probably one of those moments where it's the easiest to get tilted. It's the easiest to get in your own head because you're frustrated at the outcome. You know, it was logical, again, for Zen to go for a lot of these opportunities, to try to leave the ball for his teammates. The communication has just got to be better. It's as simple as that for everyone on Direwolves, and we even have Fiber leaving the match, maybe changing his car up. I think at this point, placebo and the exterior of your car can actually play into a huge factor here in this series, James.
You just got to start changing everything you can when it's going this poorly. Still, haven't managed to break onto the score sheet. This game was a defensive disaster for the Direwolves, so I wouldn't be surprised to see everybody try to change a few things up and getting a new mindset going into this one. Game 3, this is going to be a very important game, Turtle. If Cringe Society gets this win, they're now match point at a best of 7, which is a very difficult situation to be battling back from. So this is almost a must-win situation for the Direwolves.
Yeah, and with how consistent Cringe Society look and composed, I don't think that Direwolves have what it takes, at least in my opinion, to make that reverse sweep happen. Now, anything is possible, but Cringe Society, I mean, come on, these guys striking so consistently. The punishment is there. They're in position, always where they need to be. You don't see those rotational issues like we see with Zen on the other side for Direwolves. That we haven't seen a lot of those mistakes from Cringe Society.
Zen, we'll see how he bounces back. See some miscommunication there even. Misty doesn't have enough boost to make the play. Deca. The middle, Drippe, corner. Zen will hit it off the side. Jules going for Drippe on the backboard. Drippe was out of boost, couldn't drop it down, but the rebound comes out to Jules. Crossbar down and still on the goal line. And Jules eventually goes in.
Goodness.
This was hilarious, actually. Look how long.
Look
1, 2 crossbar hits, the bump on the backboard or on the goal line.
And that's Jules just saying, how is this not going in? Are you kidding me? Let me just bump him out of the way and give this ball a little bit more time to sink in. That was great work from Jules. And An even better bump, I'd say. More beautiful than the shot itself as Drippe moves down the field, still staying on offense with a couple of shots. The net was even open there. If the shot was on target, we would be seeing a 2-0 lead for Cringe Society. But we can't count out Direwolf. Zen, as much as he had a rough game in the previous match, you know, he's going to come out here and I think have a big comeback. This player is somebody that can make a lot of mechanical shots and impress us, to say the least, James. We can't doubt him right now.
Zen, it seems like there is nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
After that last game, it was a tough one for Zen. So far, it's been going decently.
Well, it's not like we're seeing crazy overextension plays from Cringe Society where they're really risking it all. They're just playing solid Rocket League, James.
Misty was well done on low boost to get that ball up. And Zen is looking much more polished this game, but still, they have not managed to score. This Cringe Society defense has been stingy. Fiber up to Zen, but Deca was there first. Zen had to back out of the play. Now jumping up, out of boost, didn't make contact, leaving that up to Fiber.
That was a double commit too on that ball. Both players went up trying to make contact. Maybe the communication off yet again. The pressure
that demo's
mounting. Huge. This could be it. Space given to the field. What does Fiber do? Leaves it for Misty, who goes for the fake off the sidewall. Can't get the recovery. Jules with an outstanding clear.
Now I can't even say how good that was from Jules. That's a situation where you are expecting to get scored on. Jules, that hit was ingenious.
Just very sound, fundamental Rocket League from Cringe Society. Not too many flashy mechanics that we saw from Ground Zero in the previous series, but the defensive reads always there that we just saw from Jules. Now the passing, barely seeing any double commits. Demos on the field whenever you need to find one, but nothing too crazy or risky from Cringe Society.
You have to credit Jules for a lot of the success that Cringe Society has had. Jules having an excellent series. Zen, backboard pass, Deca slips it under Fiber. Fiber out of boost.
Corner.
Misty will have this off the ceiling. No one's there. Zen will come in finally. The double tap is denied by Jules yet again.
This man does not miss the overhead reads. How did he know where that ball was going to go? It was going to bounce off the backboard as well. Reading that is so incredibly difficult. He's still in position to make plays and to go for a couple passes now, trying to get a little bit of a waterfall shot there as it drops down. And Deca throughout the corner. You can't stop him, James. Cringe Society, how do you break down that defense?
It's tough because you even get him into those disadvantageous situations. Jules, in a spot where you expect him to get scored on, he has to make a crazy touch, and he's rising to the occasion. Jules not only doing the job on offense, but getting the job done on defense.
Oh, look at the passing from Cringe Society. It's very, very well thought out and planned. You can see as they make one touch, it's always to a teammate where he can at least get a 50. Drippe finding another save, connecting on defense, moving down the field, stopping the attack, the assault from Direwolves. But this one might slip in. Drippe can't get the save on the sidewall. I thought maybe he could recover, but 21 seconds and Direwolves score, tying this one up.
And there's the first goal, and it looked like Jules might have been able to possibly hit that out. I don't know why he turned away.
Yeah.
At the final moment, must have thought that Drippe was going to hit it, but then Drippe ran into Deca, and now another chance. And so despite leading for most of this game, that last second miscommunication, Jules thinking Drippe's going to have it, Drippe running into Deca. And this is a huge chance for the Direwolves.
Oh, yeah. Confidence has got to be surging throughout their veins right now as they're able to come back and at least force an overtime to prevent them from going into match point against Cringe Society.
Jules with that 50.
One-on-one. Deca with a bump.
Oh, Zen Zen with a play. That ball was going to be a tough one to save because the demo had a smoke screen effect, but Zen was so fast back.
Oh, Deca, one of the first misses we've seen off the backboard. The previous goal, it seemed like nobody even wanted to go for it. This time, just a straight up whiff as Drippe, nice little flick out. Deca can't get over it in time. A miss from Misty off the backboard. We've got match point from Cringe Society.
Oh, Drippe pops it up to Deca, and then Misty with that miss.
Oh, man.
Drippe just had to put that on target, was low on boost, but it doesn't matter. Misty, that clear might have set up the counterattack to get the win for Direwolves, but after that miss, it was wide open.
That was huge for Misty. He needed to find a touch. Unfortunately, if you are a fan of Direwolves, they could not get any contact, but still there's hope. There is hope, okay? We had just talked about Riot reverse sweeping ground 0 in regional event number 3 in a best of 7, okay? It's possible. We've seen it before. We know it can happen. And I think a big highlight, James, to take away from this game individually is Zen and the fact that he was able to come up huge in a lot of clutch situations. We did see a goal line save from him where he kept the team alive. I think if he carries that momentum, you know, they've got a shot at this reverse sweep.
It is possible, but it seems unlikely. The Direwolves up to this point only managed to score a single goal. And then it was enough to force overtime, and we saw the miss come out from Misty on the backboard. So it has been a tough series for the Direwolves defensively. We've seen multiple players make some misses that have really cost them. Cringe Society, on the other hand, you've got players like Jules who are continually rising to the occasion, making very difficult touches on defense to keep the ball out of net. And that, you know, that is one big reason why the Direwolves have not been able to score, is because of how reliable that Jules and Cringe Society have been on their defensive stops.
Well, also with the rotations, Cringe Society play a bit more passive. They don't want to overextend too much or throw multiple people forward. And that means that you can have a safety net on the defensive side. So say, for instance, Deca, we saw him miss something off the backboard. He had a teammate in position to follow it up even after Deca was missing the shot. So if you communicate in time, let your teammates know who are in position with that safety net, they can bail you out even if you miss a backboard read, which is what we're not seeing out of Direwolves. They miss one shot, one little touch, and things come crashing down.
Zen with his pop, gonna air dribble. Ooh. And again, Jules gets in the way. Drippe will pop it high. Zen, that was a great touch. And it looked like he might have been able to weave that through, but Jules, he keeps making stops over and over again. He's like Old Faithful.
Yeah, the highlight player in game 1 as well. Now coming in for the crash, he sinks it. Nice little give and go, passing back and forth from everyone on Cringe Society. Deca over to Drippe, Drippe off the backboard, and Jules to finish it off.
Jules has been so impressive, getting yet another goal. The defensive stops leading into the shots, and you see placement was important. He could have easily shot that at Fiber. Fiber was well positioned to at least give him a chance at making the save, but Jules placed that really well in the lower corner. Well-timed air rolling to make sure that he's putting it in the spot that he needs to hit.
Yeah, I think the main word we can use to describe Cringe Society is just efficient with their boost, with their positioning, and how they read the game. It just feels a level above everything that Direwolves are trying to do on the field so far. They've got them read on the defense. They're connecting more on passes with offense. Things flowing for Cringe Society.
It's a level of polish. You see that the polish is there for Cringe Society. So consistent, minimal mistakes, and even when we saw some mistakes, Jules there to bail them out.
And this looks like a hungry Cringe Society team, James. In the winter split, I believe they've come at least top 4 in every regional event throughout the winter split. Specifically, but they're yet to sit on the throne so far. So this major could be their chance now to reclaim that spot.
Misty in the corner. That's a weak hit. And the dunk from Deca is gonna do some massive damage.
It's just absolutely clean. Nothing else about it. Fiber, not the best touch. He's trying to set up Zen, who comes in a bit late to the challenge. Deca, look at how he uses his car. He tilts his nose all the way down, making it nearly impossible for him to lose that 50 going into the ball. Slows down a little bit as well for Zen to get the first touch and slams the rest home.
He was playing Pong there. It's going completely vertical, blocking every exit. Deca using that Dominus to the best of his abilities. And a quick 1-2. Misty will get the save. We're past the halfway point. The offense has not been there for the Direwolves this game. Cringe Society, like you said, Turtle, they look hungry.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think there are chances for Direwolves on this field, but I guess not. Never mind. There's no chance. Just take it back. Deca shuts me up with this lovely solo play.
You see him, the slight delay. That little delay, that small fake, allowed him to get that 50 and then perfectly time it with that bounce off the backboard. Deca made the Direwolves look silly, and now a chance
another
to
one.
get another
He's
one.
got
He
it.
does. Deca with a hat trick. My, oh my.
Give the man a medal at this point, and he's dunking what seems to be like every player so far on Direwolves. Well, this one wasn't a dunk. The previous two, he smacked that player who was behind the ball, tore through him with that dribble, and with the timing also of how he approaches the ball and when he's coming in for the challenge. It's near perfect, spot on from Deca.
Deca is a flying road closed sign.
Yeah. Well, it's like he positions his car. With the Dominus especially, that's one of the main attributes of it. You point that thing down and it's terrifying if you're on the other end.
The big old plank.
Yeah.
Deca using that wisely and surgically. Cringe Society now up by 4.
Oh,
Deca with another save. Fiber and the Direwolves, they can't buy a goal.
Yeah. It's amazing because Cringe Society, they don't seem to be showing any signs of fear. Deca on that play, it's almost disrespectful. He lets the opponent take that shot instead of going up for the challenge. Normally, you would want to try to find a touch earlier on or at least get a 50 on that, but instead he knows. He realizes the shot isn't going to be that impactful, that powerful, rather, and goes back on defense. Now a team bump from the Direwolves. It's just not connecting against Cringe Society, James.
Misty tool-shotting into that ball. Misty will catch it. You see Drippe, the patience, and it looks like Direwolves, they're playing panic. They're trying to rush, and Cringe Society is taking all the time in the world, and the ball's getting played right into their hands.
Oh, and there's also space on the field for Direwolves, what seems to be like this whole game. You know, this whole series, there has been opportunities for Direwolves. It hasn't been a suffocation from Cringe Society on offense. They have been playing, I'd say, a majority of this series on defense, but there hasn't been a lot of unique attempts on net from Direwolves, and they're panicking. When they're given that space, Direwolves just give the ball away. Cringe Society, it's too clean, in position all the time, ready for the shot. They're finding the accuracy, and they find themselves with another win.
And this is about as dominating a performance as you can have in a best of 7. The final game, not even close. Deca with a hat trick, tons of dunks, big plays. Jules, a brilliant series from him. Drippe, rock solid throughout.
Yeah.
And Cringe Society making a strong case that they're a favorite in this major event. This has been unbelievable from Cringe Society.
Oh, yeah. And I think the big test now going forward is going to be how do they match up now in terms of mechanics with their defense against Ground Zero. So they're going to move forward to fight Ground Zero, like I said. And they look so deadly with their mechanics. While the defense of Ground Zero wasn't as impressive as Cringe Society, I'd say, the mechanics were there. That's going to be one of the best matches I think we're going to get to see, especially out of this region. But so far, you got to, tip your hat to Cringe Society. This was clean, fundamental Rocket League from them.
This Cringe Society team looking like a threat, only allowing a single goal for the Direwolves. What a performance. Cringe Society going to be moving on. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, more RLCSX.